Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Jump on top of your moose, crack open a Moxie, dump it out, then suck down a sweet lobster roll because today we are breaking down, doing another casuals guide on Jared the Killer Gorilla Cannonier versus Nassourdine Imavov. First fighter we're looking at today is Nassourdine Imavov. Started off his professional career with a 3-2 record, which is not very good. Started off a 50-50 fighter, lost his debut, went on a 3-fight winning streak, then lost again. But we're not here to focus on his lesser promotion fights. We're only here to look at his UFC fights because those are way more relevant. His first UFC fight was against Jordan Williams in 2020, won by unanimous decision. Then he has a loss that did not age well at all, against Phil Hawes, lost by a majority decision, which is brutal. Phil Hawes isn't even in the UFC anymore. That was in 2021. Then he had a win over Ian Heinich, knocked him out 3 minutes and 9 seconds into the second round. Then he had a huge win over Edmund Shabazian. Fraud checked Edmund, knocked him out 4 minutes and 42 seconds into the second round. Then he had a huge win over Jaquan Buckley, won by unanimous decision. Then he took a rough loss against Sean Strickland, and they've been yapping back and forth, talking trash. And Imavov wants a rematch. He thinks he can beat Sean Strickland, but Sean Strickland is shooting him down, not really giving him the time of day. Then there was a no contest against Strickland's buddy, Chris Curtis, due to an accidental clash of heads. That was 3 minutes and 4 seconds into the second round. Then he had the best win and the biggest win in his entire career against Roman Dolidze. Really put a whooping on him. Made it look like Roman shouldn't even be in there with him. And outside of Roman's toughness, Nassourdine Imavov was way better on the feet, had way better hands, way better kicks, way better distance management. And on top of that, he was way better in the clinch, way better on the ground. Yeah, like I said, it was a brutal whooping, and now he is taking a gigantic step up, and he's fighting Jared Cannonier. Stats are, he is 29 years old, 6'3", fights at middleweight obviously. He has a record of 13 wins, 4 losses. He has been submitted once, which was in his professional debut, lost 3 decisions. His 13 wins have been 5 by knockout, 4 by submission, and 4 decision wins. So he has a 69% finish rate. Now we're going to look at Jared Cannonier. Jared Cannonier was undefeated coming into the UFC. He made his UFC debut in 2015 against Sean Jordan, but he lost his UFC debut. Got knocked out in the first round, 2 minutes and 57 seconds in. He also fought at heavyweight for a period of time, fought at light heavyweight, and now he's currently at middleweight, which is pretty insane. He went from looking pretty chubby to looking like he is today, where he's jacked for 40 years old. And in his second fight in the UFC, he fought Cyril Asker, won by knockout in the first round, 2 minutes and 44 seconds in. Then he fought Ian Cutelaba, won by unanimous decision back in 2016. Then he fought a legend in Glover Teixeira. He lost by unanimous decision back in 2017, which that win has aged fantastically for Glover Teixeira. Then he fought Nick Roerick, quite the name, but Jared knocked him out in the third round, 2 minutes and 8 seconds in. Then he had his first back-to-back loss streak against Jan Blachowicz, lost by decision. Then he got knocked out in the first round, 2 minutes and 55 seconds in against Dominic Reyes. Then he fought an old, washed-up David Branch, knocked him out in the second round, 29 seconds in. Then he fought another legend in Anderson Silva. He beat him by TKO with a leg kick, 4 minutes and 49 seconds into the very first round, which is huge. Then he fought Jack Hermanson, knocked him out as well, 27 seconds into the second round. Then he took another loss to Robert Whittaker by unanimous decision. Then he had a huge win over Kelvin Gastelum, in his first 5-round fight to go to the decision. Then he had a huge win over Derek Brunson, knocked him out 4 minutes and 29 seconds into the second round. Then he got his very first title shot. Unfortunately, he lost to Israel Adesanya, the style bender, in a very lackluster fight. It was pretty boring. Then he had a huge win over Sean Strickland by split decision in a 5-round fight, which I'm surprised Sean Strickland didn't get knocked out. He was getting tagged hard multiple times. Sean Strickland put on a good fight. That was a very fun fight to watch. Highly recommend watching that one back, as well as this next fight with Marvin Vettori, where that's another one you'd want to watch back because he beat the brakes off of Vettori. I thought for sure we were about to see Marvin get knocked out for the first time, but that chin held up, and that chin needs to be tested by a scientist to see what genes is giving him that chin, because I'm convinced you could hit him in the mouth with a baseball bat and it wouldn't even drop him. But he beat Marvin by unanimous decision in another 5-round fight, and now he's fighting a young, hungry up-and-comer in Nassourdine Imavov. Jared's stats, kind of underwhelming if you're just looking at the stats, but if you watch him fight, he does not fight like he's 40 years old. He is 6 foot even, so he's a little bit shorter for the middleweight division. He has 17 wins, 6 losses, 10 wins by knockout, 2 submission wins, and 5 decision wins. And he has a 71% finish rate, which is good. So Imavov and Cannonier are pretty equal in that respect. And his 6 losses have been 2 by knockout and 4 losses by decision. So a majority of his losses have been by decision. And he's only been knocked out once in the UFC by Dominic Reyes, as we mentioned earlier. All of his other losses in the UFC have been by decision. And honestly, this fight's a toss-up, especially with Jared Cannonier being as old as he is, and Imavov being pretty young. He's 29. But if Jared Cannonier comes in looking like he looked against Marvin Vettori, I wouldn't be surprised to see him knock Imavov out. But I also wouldn't be surprised to see Imavov mix it up, get Jared on the ground, make it an ugly fight, a dirty fight, and really test Jared Cannonier on how well balanced he is. And honestly, I'm not sure who I would pick to win this fight. I'm going to be making my prediction video tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. But right now, I'm leaning towards Imavov just because of the youth, how much he has shown us that he is willing to mix it up. But I also wouldn't be surprised at all to see Jared Cannonier catch Imavov on the chin, put him down, and finish via ground and pound. But yeah, if you guys like the content, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you guys have a great week.